Smallville 8th season is one of my favorite. It's in my top 3 favorite season. Season 8, 9, and 10 are my favorite 3 season of the entire show. They are really good. I enjoyed a lot these 3 season. Now, with that out of the way, let's speak about why season 8 is about Clark becoming the hero. Yes. In season 8, we get Oliver and Clark being very, very different in their approach to save the world. For Clark to be the hero, you need to save everyone. I said it, everyone. For Oliver, you can kill in order to save the world. If you kill for the greater good, then you are justified. And this leads to Clark and Oliver both having a darker path, a darker future with season 9. We will speak in detail about that in the season 9 part of this video. In season 8, we get Doomsday as the main villain. We get Chloe taking a dark path. Now, the dark path Chloe is in may be part created by Brainiac. At some point, Chloe kills someone to protect Clark's secret. Is it Eric or it's not? She does it for the greater good after all. Now, I need to speak about something I found not really consistent with the past of the series. Remember in season 7, that's the most fresh uh, memory I got, where the writing is not really consistent. Clark, in one episode, decides to destroy Brainiac. He kills Brainiac, and he justifies killing Brainiac because he's not a man, he's not a human, he is a machine, he is a creature. And then he used a electric cable to electrocute Brainiac, and Brainiac was destroyed. Well, this is what we thought, but later on, Chloe becomes some kind of a vessel for Brainiac. Regardless, Clark killed Brainiac. He used electric cable to destroy him. And now, in season 8, there's a big dilemma where everyone wants to kill Doomsday, but Clark doesn't. Doomsday is a creature. They have a way to separate the creature from the human, but yet Clark doesn't want to kill. Now, I am fine with the no killing rules. However, they already broke it in the past, and now they make it seems like writing is not consistent, and this is sad. But this doesn't take away my enjoyment of the series. I will be honest here, it's a detail, but I still need to mention it. Now, with season 8, we get somewhat of a darker tone because, let's be honest, the main villain is a serial killer that struggle with the beast. And yeah, it's really dark. I enjoyed that season a lot, and I only skipped 3 episodes that I really didn't like, and I felt these 3 episodes were filler. And I think this is the season where I have seen the most episode in my most recent watch because I always skip episodes here and there. Season 4, Season 5, Season 6, Season 7, Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. Well, Season 1, I haven't skipped that many episodes. I feel like I could have skipped more, but I didn't because that was the season that was very far in my memory regardless. Season 8, I only skipped 3 episodes, and that feels good. I really liked that season despite a few flaws here and there. Now it's about becoming an hero because Clark is slowly becoming the Blur. That season, he saves people, and Martian Manhunter is another hero. He saved Clark, and then even if he no more has powers, he's in the street acting as a police officer, which is amazing. In season 8, we also get female Lex. Let's be honest. Now, here's my thought. They wanted Lex Luthor to be there in the show until the show ends, but the actor Michael Rosenbaum, he probably didn't want to keep going. He probably said, "Look, season 7 is my last one," but they had plans for Lex until the end. That's why we get female Lex, and this is fine. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Lex wasn't planned at all, and they really wanted to write off the show Lex in season 7, and that's not Michael Rosenbaum's fault. I really don't know. I'm not behind the scene. I I don't know, but that's my theory. I think Lex Luthor was a character until the end of the series, but of course, with Michael Rosenbaum departure, they could not do such things, so they replaced Lex Luthor by Tess Mercer. Now, Tess Mercer, she is a weird character here. She is an annoying villain that doesn't want to admit she is a villain. I said it. She does so many things wrong. It's clearly villainous. It's clearly like, I will save the world by forcing the traveler to kill his worst enemy. I will save the world by using the orb. Look, Tess Mercer as a character is fine, but she is the weakest part of season 8 and 9. However, in season 10, she get a redemption arc, and I think it's earned and much better. But we will speak about that later on. Right now we are in season 8. Tess Mercer as a character is fine, but I just don't like that much this character because she only feels like female Lex. This is sad. She feels just like female Lex, but yet she says, "Oh, she's different because Lex stopped believing in Clark, but she doesn't." And they're right on that. But she's still a villain. She still uses people. She still lies to everyone. She still thinks she needs to save the world. So yeah, really similar characters. Is the actress good? Yes. She's doing good job with the material she's given, but she's only female X. Now, Oliver Queen as a character, wow. I enjoy Oliver Queen a lot. Season 6, he was one of the best recurring character. Season 7, if I remember correctly, he only had like 1 or 2 episodes. And these 2 episodes, or that only episode, were great because Oliver Queen as a character is really interesting. He, he, he is willing to kill to save people. It's well played, and it feels like, what if Alex was side by side with Clark? This is what I like. He's like the rich character that will do the stuff and that will be on Clark's side all the time. That's cool. That's cool. And season 9 is Oliver Queen best season. But we will speak about that later. Before we move on to season 9, I must speak about that. Oliver thinks about revenge, Lana as well. And I will be honest here. Lana is an annoying character, but hey, she's gone after season 8, so we are fine after that. And here again, we get a lot of secrets, breaking relationships. Amazing, right? The trope. You know this part of the video where we take a look to the viewership, the season 7 ad, and then we will go over to season 8 to see if anything dropped or not. We will see. Only future will tell. Now, we will only take a look to the season premiere for season 7, and we will also take a look to the season finale. And then after that, you know the deal. We cover season 8, 9, 10 key moments in the season. So, the first episode, Bizarro, at 5.18 million, which is really good for a series that entered its 7th season. And it's also really good because if, in case you didn't know, season 6 was poorly received. And I need to agree with most people, season 6 is kind of bad. But let's keep going to the season finale before we go over to season 8. Now, season finale, where are you? Now it's at a 3 million.85, which is really good. As we said earlier, it's season 7. I think it's the highest numbers for a superhero TV show entering its 7th season. I don't think The Flash was ever that high, I think. Maybe in the first season, but I know in the 7th season, The Flash doesn't have that kind of numbers. The same goes for Arrow. In season 7, Arrow didn't have these numbers. So this is really good. Now let's go over to what is the most interesting thing. Season 8. Now, guys know my feeling. I liked season 8 a lot. And sadly, it's only at 4.34 million, which is a drop since season 7 premiered, but it's normal. It's very late in the series, and here again, it's much higher than Arrow or The Flash at the same point in their lifespan. So now let's take a look if these numbers were maintained throughout the season. Now we will take a look before they took the winter break. So before they took the winter break, we had episode 10, A Bride. Episode number 10, A Bride, was at a 4 million.18. So they were able to keep pretty high numbers, and people were excited to see it back, going at 4.29. Now we had Bulletproof, Candle Low, because people may thought it was filler. I actually liked the episode a lot. So let's keep moving. Now we will take a look to the penultimate episode, and then we will take a look episode number 22. So penultimate episode number 21, 3.39 million, and then Doomsday 3.13 million. So it dropped. It almost lost a full million in one season. So people didn't really like what was going on with the show. They were not that excited. And who can blame them when we have Caroline Dries making a bad episode? Nobody can blame them. And then they gave that person a show.
Oh my, 50%! This is season 8. Let's read some comments. I am curious to see why people didn't like it. Very great. The only thing holding me back from giving this 5 stars is that the finale was underwhelming due to all the build up and it gave hardly any payoff. Also, Sam Witwer best performance. This is when the show starts to act like it does not know what it is. A terror TV show, a drama, a soap opera, a love story, while all the involved have some sort of meta-human power and Kryptonian power. Everything is tracked on, forced and filler that at the end won't amount to nothing. Lex is out of the door and Lana becomes a weird, regular human, non-meta human with his skin converted into a exoskeleton of nanites powered by kryptonite, making her unbangable by Clark. After that, there is nothing really important going on. What about, I don't know, Oliver killing Lex? Well, you just have hatred for the show, I guess. The biggest of the season due to the Doomsday mess, and only shadowy Lex. But it is still great due to an increased role for Lois and great new character in Tess. Overall, the season was good, but no show is perfect. It's not completely wiped out. Its charming moment, like Lana's return, Ultra. It was for a little bit, and of course, a few good moments and turn here and there. But season 8 suffered from the same issues like the previous season. Plus, the ending of Doomsday was done poorly, and the death of Jimmy Olsen was anticlimactic to say the least. Now, I will also add this. In this season, we get to meet the Legend of Superhero. Great team. I like them. They are amazing. So, is it like the very long kind one? Oh, my. The best season of the show? Well, I disagree. Season 10 is the best, but hey, we all have our opinion, and this one is very long, so strap on, or I should say, clip your belt. I don't know. Right from the very beginning, one could see that the 8th season of Smallville would be very different from any of its predecessors gone were regular Michael Rosenbaum, Lex Luthor, and Kristen Krug, Lana Lang. Oh my, this one is very long. Smallville is the origin story of how Clark Kent became Superman. Okay, now it's just a list of all characters. It also includes guest appearances like Christopher Reeve, Margot Kinder, Dean Cain, Terry Hatcher, and many more. Smallville was in many ways the first great superhero series on TV, and it was groundbreaking. There had never been a TV series like this for a superhero that went back to tell an origin story like this before. Sure, we had Batman 1966 series, Adventures of Superman, Superboy, Lois and Clark, The New Adventure of Superman, and so on. But this was the first series where you could say, yes, a superhero TV show can work long term and be good, which Smallville was. The first 5+ seasons of Smallville were really good, and Clark transitioned to become the hero he is. I lost where I was. And Clark transition to Superman rendered that penultimate transition without much drama, really. There are only three things that I enjoyed about that season, aka the reason I can give 2 stars instead of one. The Earth 2 plot arc, which allowed us to see some characters that hadn't been around for a while. The Outer Universe character kind of muddy thing up in the end, but it is nice to see them as themselves once again. The episode Homecoming, where the Smallville writers give a not so subtle nod of acceptance to fans like me who became disenchanted after the season 5 episode Reckoning and the show Bleed that followed. The finale episode where us long surviving fan finally get a payoff that we all been waiting for. Thus, it basically comes down to this. If you love Smallville in the early going and it feels it has declined, since retconning the season won't change that opinion whatsoever. However, if you still got enjoyment out of the later season, you will probably like this one too. I can see where that person is coming from. Reconning was really good, but the entire show is great, in my own opinion. Maybe not that much the first few seasons, but that's just me.
Oh my! Season 9 had a very low viewership when it first came out. Now, I suspect a lot of people thought the series ended with season 8, so they dropped out, or they didn't like the season finale and they didn't came back. And these numbers are maintained. It's really low. It's the lowest viewed season so far. 2 million.58. It's a low point in the series. Now let's go take a look to the episode before the break. So before the winter break, we had 2,045 2,000,045 viewers before the break, and then we had a 2,000,052. And this is really sad because season 9 is amazing in my own opinion. It's a really strong season. But then we get Warrior episode. I'm not surprised nobody tuned in for it. So let's go take a look to the penultimate episode, A Stage. Oh my, I think it's the lowest viewed episode in the entire series. 1.92 million. It's really, really low. It's kinda sad. Now, now, Salvation, the season finale, 2.45 million. Yep, yep. So, that season was great. I'm very sad it didn't go well for people. But hey, everyone has their own taste.
Smallville Season 9. Here we are. This time around, it's more than just becoming the hero, it's about rebirth. Jimmy dying from Davis Bloom led to both Chloe and Clark dying. They didn't die like physically, but they changed. Clark Kent was dead at the end of Smallville 8th season, leaving only Kal-El and Superman there among the living. For 2 episodes, Clark wasn't in the picture, giving us Metallo, Lois' new teammate. Now, Season 9 is one of my favorites, and let's speak about Rebirth again. Oliver Queen killed Lex Luthor in Season 8. and he wanted to kill Doomsday as well and Davis. Because of that, Oliver didn't feel like a superhero anymore. So in I believe episode 4 or maybe 3, I forgot which episode exactly Oliver decided, but at some point in season 9, Oliver decided to burn down his suit. Now, this is rock bottom for Oliver. Episode 5, he's gambling, he is losing everything, and then Chloe need to pick up the pieces, and she need to fix Oliver. And this was one of the best episode in the entire show. Roulette episode was great. It was Oliver centric, it was well done, and Oliver was always one of my favorite character. I think Oliver was the best part of the later season. He is a great character. I just enjoy Oliver Queen a lot. Now, we speak about Rebirth. Let's speak about the Kandorian. Guess what? Krypton died roughly 20 to 25 years before that season. And of course, that civilization. These people died. But Jor-El created clones. And these clones are the last relics of the Kryptonian race. And these are the Kandorian led by Zod. And this is a rebirth. Because guess what? These people, they are coming back from the dead. Even if they are a clone, it's kind of a rebirth. And that season is really dark. Tess Mercer is a very annoying character. She is like a Lex Luthor ripoff. Great. Now, one of my issues with season 9, Clark being full-time Kal-El was too short. Only 2 episodes for Clark not being around is not enough for me. But I can understand why people enjoyed it was only 2 episodes, because some people are like, we want Clark and Lois dynamic. I also want it, but we had a lot of it in season 8, we have a lot of it in season 9, we have a lot of it on season 10. So if Kal-El was more around and longer in season 9, I think season 9 would stand out more. But Clark being back already after like 3 episodes was too short, but that's just me. Now, what I like the most about that storyline with season 9, Clark is torn apart. He has hard time like being on both sides. He wants to protect the Kandorian, but he also wants to protect the human. And he knows if the Kandorian have their power, they will basically enslave the human race. They will kill the human. They will transform Earth into new Krypton. And he doesn't want that. But he doesn't want to lose his people again. So there's some kind of dilemma. We also have Checkmate. Checkmate, great villains. And in this season, Clark realized he need to rely on people. Especially at the end when he realized, wow, I may need to leave Earth with my people. Season 9 had 3 filler episodes, really discussing ones. Zombie Apocalypse with the Doomsday Virus, I believe it was episode 3 or 4. The episode where Lois basically became a housewife was so awful. I hate These Valentine's Day episodes, I skipped it. I remember it, but I skipped it. There's also another awful episode where Lois is getting possessed by a witch. Chloe as well, another woman as well. That felt like season 4, and that was. I skipped it. That's awful, I skip it. That's it. And this is sad because one of the episodes, I believe that's the lowest episode, had my favorite ending ever. Clark using his heat vision to destroy two towers. He became a terrorist for the greater good. He blew up the towers Zod wanted to create to make the sun red. That scene is one of my favorite scenes in the entire show, but it's on the worst episode ever. It's so disgusting when I think about it. Season 9 is really strong. In my own opinion, as I keep saying, the later season of the show are my favorite. Season 8, 9, 10 is my top 3. So, now, we spoke about that. Let's move on with the video. As you can see it, 68% for the audience, which is really good. But really, for real. Let's go read some comment now. So we will start with all of these comments here that doesn't need to show more. Simply amazing, like a comic book come to life. True. I like all 10th season. Oh, I agree with you. All 10th season add something good except maybe season 4. Here we are. Pretty weak season that wraps all the storyline. It can well introduce stupidity like Brainiac being reprogrammed 30 years later, time traveling to ask forgiveness to Clark. Okay, that is just not genuine. That's not gentle. That's out of hatred, or I don't know. I just don't understand. That was one of the best episodes the show had. And it's sci-fi, buddy. They explained it. And that episode was for us to understand why Clark need to let go of the past. So here my voice will come lower because there's noise behind me. So I needed to lower down that volume there. So for all the garbage he make him endure, plot points that end nowhere, and the return of Lionel Luthor acting totally berserk. While on the final episode we see Lex that in the previous 2 seasons he was magical robotic voice to himself again and doing stupidity all over again. So, okay. Overload. Smallville wasn't made for you. It wasn't made for you, I should say. It's sci-fi, bro. And maybe you're one of the players that says only season 1, 2, 3, 4 are good. If it's the case, your life is very sad. Now, let's read the other one. The show definitely deserves and stars. I grew up watching it and really love the characters, especially Lex Luthor. He was the main reason for me to sit in front of my TV every day after school. It shocked me when they stopped to produce the show. Now, I'm thinking about that because we are speaking about that. I think Tess Mercer deserves her redemption or redemption arc was amazing. I liked it. One of the best part of season 10 is Tess. And this is funny how I disliked her so much in season 8 and 9. In season 10, Tess is amazing. So here we will only read the one on the right because the left one looks really big, and we will read it after that. Glorious ending to my favorite show. A fantastic ending to a very long show. Clark finale becoming Superman, and everything that has been built up finally come to fruition. I loved most of the season, and I am glad I'd watch it again after the terror that was season 6, 7, and half of 8. These last two seasons are some of my overall favorite in the show. Overall, great build up, good resolution, and good development. Smallville still stand the test of time. Season 1 to the first half of season 6, which good to sometime great episode and an epic season finale. Season 5 finale especially was really good. And then the second half of season 6, 8, a not great season. A lot of that had to do with the writer strike in late 2007 and going into 2008. But the last few seasons, 9, 10, were amazing. Some of the best the series had, at least in my opinion. The special effects for this show, while they were not as great as what we got with the later CW, DC TV, Arrowverse show, Marvel TV shows, and Fox Gotham were good for the time of the early 2000s, like the way Clark would speed his way out of danger and rescue his friends from trouble. Awesome, and showing what he can do so good. The writing on the series at time good to not so good, but in later season it picked up. I agree. So many argue that Smallville went on for too long, and in some cases it did, but the last few seasons were epic. Lois finally figured out who Clark really was, and finally got together, and at the very end of the series, Clark and finally became the Man of Steel, Superman, saving the world and becoming the hero we all know and love from the comics. Paved the way from future superhero TV shows like Arrow, The Flash, and you know them, right? Another very long one, and this one didn't like it, so we will start with the shorter one and then we will go over to the longer one. Smallville was never terrible, however, I didn't like the later season very much. I got bored because it dragged on for so long, plus, it changed a lot. It was no longer the show I started watching. There were still moments that I really enjoyed, but a lot of the later Smallville made me want to go back to season 1. I don't know about that, but that's just me. I am one of the few weird ones that really like later season. As in season 8 and 9 of Smallville is this 10th season will appeal to fans of the comic, action, adventure, variety, those looking for solid writing, richly developed character, and legitimate, not predictable wow moment. I've likely tricked off after season 5, 6. I have been with the series for the long haul, and while throughout enjoying the first 5 seasons, liking 6, 7, despising 8, 9, I cannot give the final season good reviews based on nostalgia perpetuated by the show ending. There are a few basic plotlines that run throughout the final season, all of which fall flat in one way or another. The US government reaction to superhero and almost blatant rip-off many themes from The Dark Knight, the Clark and Lois relationship should work, but writer, you can't have Lois be easily the most annoying character on the show for 6 seasons and then expect us to put all that aside and love her in the 7th. Look, I love Lois from start to end, but I can understand why some people didn't like her. But as writer, you can't have Lois easily the most annoying character. Okay, Clark Kent coming to term with the hero he is destined to become. Pretty much every decision conclusion Clark comes to this season in terms of embracing his destiny is watered down due to botched attempts in the past season because the show was a year-to-year basis for so long. Freaking stop and start in Clark. Here we are with season 9. Simply in the middle, not good but not bad. Great cliffhanger ending top. Utterly poor offering, rubbish writing and plots, clearly slashed budget on special effect and casting. The actor they got to play Azad was dreadful. The character was sleazy and spoke without swallowing. We spent the whole season saying about each guest star, even he could have made a better Zod. Speak for yourself, Zod is kind of cool, but I can understand why people didn't really like him. Maybe the accent, I really don't know. Yeah, Zod clone when he was young, like 20 years before becoming evil. He become evil in literally 5 minutes of screen time. Zod goes from Big to Clark to stay on Earth with the Kendorian to literally 5 minutes later planning how to overtake Earth and destroy humanity. Final battle was quite good since it's supposed to be the ending to the show, but was renewed. Nothing good came from it. That's kind of harsh, I disagree, but hey, we are different, right? Some strong world building and the arrival of Azad make this season not to be missed. So, by the way, the rating of that season is 58. It's kind of low. So, the acting of Zod arrived this season of its greatness, the most overrated, basic, nauseating actor I have ever seen. I had to skip most of the Zod scene. Smallville Season 9 prove another disappointing follow-up to the series, packing some silly moments and villains such as Zod, Metallo, and Silver Banshee, but also some more change to the Superman mythos all through the GSA was handled rather well than I expected them to. This was one of the best seasons Smallville ever had. Clark stepped up and finally grew as a character. Lois rose up to be a strong and enjoyable character, and Zod was a magnificent character who was played masterfully by Colum Blue. Overall, a great build up, good storyline, great acting, some of the best in the show since the veteran left. I guess. I liked so much his night because of Oliver Queen. He made that season amazing. How to carry on a show on his shoulder, even if it's not his. This is the best start of the series since being show on air. Since on air, it excellent a group of actors dedicate themselves. So yeah, there not much other say the fact really I enjoyed 10 out of 10 and 2 thumbs up. Oh my, this one will be long. When the 8th season of Smallville concluded, I wondered how the show could sink any lower. The show writer had drawn out the Doomsday Blood arc all season and then blew it an anticlimactic finale. Unfortunately, they didn't get back to the right track until very late in season 9. Literally the season finale. The season continued the pattern of featuring more obscure Superman comic book characters, including Metallo, the Dark Archer, Roulette, Diamond, a return appearance in the Justice Society in the season only other passable episode. Thought I upload the show for trying to feature more aspect of the Superman mythology in a layer of the Freak of the Week angle. The fact of the matter is that these characters just don't resonate as much and thus don't create as much drama as the major villain of season past. When I think of Superman baddies, the hierarchy is Lex Luthor done, Zod done twice actually, Brainiac done, Doomsday done, and maybe Darkseid hinted as the season 10 primary enemy to Clark, the other. The final season of the Smallville TV show. I will say this was my favorite season, and based on what I remember, I only skipped 2 episodes. Hell yes. Oh, actually 3, never mind. I skipped Booster Gold, I skipped ISIS, and I skipped Bachelor Party or something. These episodes are bad, but this is 3 episodes out of 21. And this season was great. Now, in season 9 part, I also forgot to speak about the episode where there's a child becoming a warrior angel. I also skipped that one, but hey, this is season 9 material. Now we are in the final season. Now, I will be honest here. That season has flaws here and there, but it was a really, really good season. It's about becoming the superhero, becoming an example for society, stepping out to the light. And it's about telling to people, look, you don't rewind. You don't overcome villain by being a villain yourself. You must be better than them. This is a great message delivered well. This is Superman. We are talking about Clark Kent became Superman in that season. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, I also skipped an episode that was like a Matrix ripoff. That was another episode I skipped. Regardless, that season has great episode, including one where we get a fight between Clark and Oliver, and Clark is powerless. Oliver had some great material there. He fell back to a very dark place. He is not rock bottom, far from that, but he has some rough moments. Him outing himself, him telling the world he's Green Arrow had a huge weight on him as a character in his story. Slade was an interesting character. Hawkman dying was one of the most emotional thing ever, because each time I see that, I have tears in my eyes. Hawkman, a jerk, but good guy. Like, he acted like a jerk many times, but he's a good guy. And it's very endearing, and it's really sad to see him fall. And that season was really, really good. Cannot wait to rewatch again. For real. Now, the cast is much smaller in that season. There's less character, so they are handled much better than what they used to be, which is great. This season is also about putting the past in the past and looking forward and looking to the future and wanting to go to the future. Clark was worried to go with Lois and freely becoming lover with her and being in a relationship because of his past failure with Lana. But in that season he realized, oh my, Lois is the girl. That was great. Episode 5, episode 4. Well, episode 4, I think it was episode 4. The episode where we see Brainiac 5. That was an amazing episode, one of the best the series ever had. And yeah. Godfrey was fine. Darkseid was fine. Grainy goodness was fine. Look, the villain are the weakest part. Slade Wilson is actually great, and Zod coming back only for one episode was really good. Now, it was hands down my favorite season, as I said. I can rewatch this over and over again. With everything being said, let's do something. Let's go read Rotten Tomato comments on season 9 and season 10. I hope you guys will enjoy that part as well. We may be interrupted again because someone is about to leave the parking, but I don't know when, and I don't like to waste time. The other guys, girl, at least to me, are just fill-ins. The primary story arc of the season thought focuses on the return of Zod. This time anybody not spirit form, and his army of followers thought the acting of Colin Blue is wonderful in channeling Terrence Stamp's movie Zod interpretation. Ultimately, his character angle feels overly drawn out, including a romance with Tess Mercer that is utterly ridiculous. You didn't understand what you were watching, my friend. He was manipulating her because he's a liar, and yeah. And doesn't produce any real drama until the very end, once the fate of his character has already been decided. Plus, it would be Smallville broadcast on the CW network without the nauseating love triangle that only served to create little hollow drama of tension. Oliver Lois, Clark Chloe, Oliver Chloe, Tess Zod, and Tess Oliver. No. Look. There was no Tess Zod. It's on your mind. And Tess Oliver was one-sided. As of Clark Chloe, not really. They are friends. Clark Lois, well, it's true. Oliver Lois, no. It was one-sided again. Oliver Chloe, yes, it's normal. Are all covered this season, and none of them are likable whatsoever, usually treating over already covered ground or going in completely ridiculous, outrageous direction in terms of acting. Tom Welling Clark and Aston Mac Chloe turn in solid effort, but Erica Durance is still sickening, as is Justin Harley in portraying Oliver Going Blue. As mentioned, is a joy to watch, but is primarily for Cassidy Freeman as Tess Mercer Pell. In comparison, again, to Michael resembles Lex Luthor. Thus, despite an incredible finale that came out of nowhere to actually whet my appetite for the 10th and final season. This installment in the series was another monumental disappointment. I can only hope that the writer producer built on salvation and deliver a more consistent final effort that will make we want to tune in every Friday night, not doing so like a chore. Smallville, season 9, about acting ruined everything. All the people didn't like it. While other interesting characters such as Kara Supergirl and Alina Luthor would not be coming back in their place, would be a new villain Tess Mercer and an increased focus on the Justice League, especially Green Arrow. Early on in the season, the show struggled to find its footing a bit, as could be expected from all the casting change. The Tess character was hit or miss. Green Arrow couldn't hold an episode by himself. That's a lie, I disagree. Green Arrow is amazing, one of the best characters in the series, but this is just me. And the freaks of the week, while nodding to the Superman comics, weren't that relevant or interesting to the development of the main characters, starting with the episode Bloodline. Early November, however, the Smallville writers were able to chum out a string of 4 high-quality episodes in a row, such topic as the creation of Doomsday, later Superman's most deadly foe, Chloe, relationship with Brainiac featuring a great flashback Clark Lewis scene, and a Clark future destiny ended at true time traveling Legion members were covered and all proved to be very interesting. Plus, even the Clark Lois relationship was actually starting to get entertaining and moving in a direction following the Superman canon. But then came Lana, basically right as the season seemed to be in its peak. Lana ruined everything, I'm guessing. The character of Lana Lang makes a guest appearance for a few episodes and everything comes crashing back down again. Thought the writers tried to give Lana a touching send-off, as Crook will not be returning. Her character had been so emotionally void. What with her on again off again relationship with Clark and Lex for the past few seasons, that this was just the last straw. Sadly, what could have been one of the more touching scenes in Smallville is revealed like more like good riddance. From that point, I do agree with that actually. The entire rest of the season did not produce one episode I would consider to be anywhere near great. Thought trying to make the Clark Doomsday Chloe triangle as dramatic as possible, it falls flat due to the fact that one show can only handle so many love triangles at one time. Also, the test character, while decently acted, could not hold a candle to Lex, while the Justice League was never really fleshed out any more than in season 6 or 7. Even the season finale thought it contained a few good moments, or was disappointing, as I had to go read through the Kryptonite message board just to figure out what happened in the end. What was supposed to be the big revelation to set the groundwork for season 9. Thus, as much as I hate to say it, season 8 of Smallville has been, at least so far, the weakest season of the show. For the first time watching Smallville every week seemed like a bit of a chore. I will, like many of you, continue to watch the show until its conclusion, but sadly, I do not think it will ever recapture the innocence of its first few seasons. People really forget how bad season 4 was. But hey, Everyone has their own opinion, as we say. I don't want to sound like an echo chamber. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. The worst season in the entire series, in my own opinion. The Doomsday fight was a bit disappointing, to say the least, but I still love Smallville.
The final season started off with almost 3 million. We had 2 million and point 98. And we got Homecoming 3 million 19 for like amazing stuff. And I must say it, as we record this in 2022, I don't recall or remember any other superhero TV show reaching 10th season. A lot of them were cancelled, a lot of them were ended before 10. So let's just praise Smallville for that. And I see a lot of hater in the comment coming here and saying later seasons are bad. No, they are not just for you. And that's the thing. Everyone has their own taste. It was still well written. It was still very good and strong. But here again, everyone has their own taste. And let's be honest, even in early season, the show was really cheesy. So if you blame later season to be cheesy, blame early season as well. Now let's go take a look to the episode before they went on winter break. So, Icarus, before they went in winter break, 2.55 million, and when they came back, 2.37 million. These are good numbers. Good job, everyone. So let's watch the penultimate episode and then the finale. The penultimate episode was 2.07 million. And we had a 3.02 and 3.02 again. So you have the numbers, you know what was going on. A series ending 10, like having 10 season, ending with 10 season, and having 3 million viewer. It's really good. And keep in mind, this was in 2010, before we had all of these superhero TV show. That was a big thing, I think, I guess. Here we are, the last part of this retrospective on the Smallville TV show. I did like this show a lot. Rewatching the entire series was amazing. I liked it a lot. The start was really rough for me. The middle was really good, but the ending was amazing. But this is just my own opinion. I hope guys enjoyed as well. And this part, it's about becoming the superhero, becoming the hero. So in season 8, we had the no-kill rule. In season 9, it's still there, but in season 9, it's about rebirth and also sacrifice. And season 10, it's about letting the past in the past and moving forward and moving toward the future. This is how we can save people. This is all we can help people by helping ourselves first. That series was really, really good. It had flaws, it had cheese, cringe, bad episode, awful episode, and I will be honest, I skipped many and pretty much all of the seasons. All season had their share of episode I didn't want to rewatch. And even there, some episode I still watched because I just forgot about them. And then I was like, okay, maybe that's one of these I could have skipped. But here again, This was a strong TV show, and don't search too far to understand why we had 3 million people watching it after 10 years, and later season being poorly received by a lot of people. I say a lot of people, but it's based on Rotten Tomato, and I can tell also videos in the internet and stuff. No show is perfect. Some people are just more harsh, more critical, but this is part of the world. I am happy people tune in for all three parts, and my next retrospective will be the Arrow TV show. And just like Smallville, Arrow TV show wasn't cancelled, it was ended. People making the show thought, okay, let's end the show. The actors, the writers, they were like, let's end the show. Well, Smallville is the same thing. They ended Smallville, and I do think they ended Smallville on a very high note. But this is just me. What are your thoughts? I know there are comics. I may cover the comics eventually if I can have my hands on it and read them for myself. I've seen videos about it, but hear me out. More Smallville content in the making. In the future, I will probably do like ranking season, ranking episode. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. We will see each other in future video. Have a great day.